Hey everybody, it's Pam and Bill at Country Living Newbie Custom Decor in Spring Hill, Tennessee. Thanks for joining us today. We are doing a live on something really fun. We've gotten a lot of questions about it, and we're gonna attempt to show you how we did it. This is one of those see one, do one, teach one techniques. So we're not experts by any means on this technique, but this is one of those techniques that you just have to kind of use and play around with. It's a little unpredictable, which is what makes it so much fun. So this is, these projects were inspired by Malia and LaDon from Mustard Tree Market and LaDon's Recreations. So kind of took both of their techniques, some things that they showed on their live videos and some classes that I've taken from at least LaDon, and kind of combined those techniques and kind of made a little bit of our own, some changes, and we encourage you to do that as well. So as you start learning new techniques, you know, try something new, throw something a little different in there, and pretty soon you'll make something your very own too. So we're a premier Dixie Belle retailer in Spring Hill, Tennessee. We're just a little bit south of, I was going to think south or north, south of Nashville. So we're pretty close to the city. It's beautiful where we are. We're kind of out in the country. So if you are in the Nashville area, come see us at Country Living Newbie. So we're going to start by showing you what we did yesterday. And when I posted this, I got an inbox blown up with, how did you do that? So we're going to show you how we did it, or we're going to try to show you how we did it. Now, if you guys follow us, one of the things we really like to try to get across in our videos and show folks in our videos is that Dixie Belle paint is very easy to use. It's very forgiving. You know, if you're a beginner, you can do all this. We're pretty new at this, or I'm pretty new at this. I've been doing this just over a year. So watch a lot of videos and just get some paint on something, and you'll be amazed at what you come away with. So this is a barn door that Bill built. It's just pine, right? So it started out as
pine, cheap piece of plywood, and some some of that cheap, like 3/16 inch thick.
Is that what this is?
Yeah.
I could kind of feel it when I was painting.
Knotty pine.
Yeah.
Wall covering. Or,
okay. Yeah, I kind of felt a little different than everything else.
It's just cheap.
So he put this together, and we build custom barn doors, not cheap, but we do build custom barn doors. This is actually going to go in our store and cover up a closet that it now has a burlap curtain in front of it, so it's awful. So this door, we're going to be using 3 colors. You could use 2 colors, you could use 4 colors with this. There's no, set amount of colors to use or combination of colors. It's whatever you want. So we painted this with a base coat of Flea Market Decor's Market Green. So that's the first color that's on here. In the middle, we did aged ivory from Flea Market Decor. And then this brown on here is Dixie Belle's burlap. So those are the 3 colors we decided to do with this. You can see there's a little bit of difference between the top and the bottom. So I did the top first. It was the first time I've ever done this technique. I lied. It's the second time. I did it on a little tiny box, a little wooden box with drawers, just because I never did it before. So if you're trying something new, try it on something small first. I wouldn't go getting a 8-foot armoire and trying your technique for the first time on that. Try it on something small, and then move on to something larger. So I did the top first, and then as I got to learn how the vinegar and water worked with the paint, and also how the salt worked with the paint and with the vinegar and water, I got a little better at it by the time I got down here, and I actually got a little bit, a look that I like a little bit better down here. So just dig in, jump in feet first, and throw some paint on something.
Not with your feet, though.
Not with your feet. Okay, so this is the table that we're going to do. So we're going to do a tabletop. We have it turned on its side. Earlier today, we put Dixie Belle's Boss on the tabletop. This is very old. It had a lot of black kind of water stains on it. Even when we cleaned it and sanded it, it still looked like it was going to be a bleeder, and we were doing white. So we decided to go ahead and use Dixie Belle's Boss. We use clear. It comes in clear and white, so just depending what your your base coat of paint is going to be. You can choose whether you need a clear or a white gloss. If you're going for a distressed look, you probably want to use the clear because you want to get through to that to see the wood. But comes in both, so you can choose which one you want to use. It's a odor and stain blocker, and it works very well. We put one coat on, and we went out to lunch. Well, we put one coat of gloss on. We let it dry. We put one coat of Flea Market Decor's Age Ivory on, and we went out to lunch. And we came back, and there was absolutely no bleeding at all. So one coat of gloss was enough. If it wasn't, we could have put another coat of gloss over it and then put another coat of paint over it. So you can put your gloss over your paint if you're still getting some bleed through. So our base coat of this is going to be Flea Market Decor's Age Ivory. So a little different than the door where we went with the green base coat. So we're kind of flipping things around this time.
And speaking of flipping around, why is the table on its side?
We're going to be doing some spraying and getting some drips coming down. So we don't want the vinegar water solution to pool on the flat surface. So we're going to flip it on its side, and that way we can let it drip. And then we're going to actually blot a lot of the drips off. So because we don't, I mean, maybe you do, and that's fine too, but when you start getting all the drips coming down, like you can see a few here, I didn't want a lot of that, so you can take your paper towel and just blot it off. And if you look at the bottom, so on the top part, I took my paper towel and I did it like this, flat, and pulled it off. On the bottom, I actually took my paper towel and rolled it up and really started just kind of doing this, and I got a lot more blotchy look. So again, you know, you're gonna learn as you do this. You can watch 100 videos and do it exactly the way someone did it, but you're gonna end up maybe changing it up just a little bit or finding you like one technique better than the other, or maybe you don't have a t-shirt rag, so you have to use a paper towel and you find you get a different look and you love it. So just use what you got on hand, and chances are it's going to be beautiful. Okay, so for the two colors, we're going to just do half the table today. It's a pretty big table, and there's several steps to this, so we're just going to do half. The colors we're going to be using are Dixie Belle's Coffee Bean and Farmhouse Green. So we're going to use Farmhouse Green in the middle. So that's going to be our major color. You can kind of see on the barn door that white was our major color in the middle, and that the burlap was kind of around the edges dripping in. And again, you can take these edges, put some brown wax on them or some glaze, and just make them look dirty, more dirty than it already is. There's endless possibilities with this. So again, we'll show you kind of the technique and how the chemicals all work together, and then you can go and make it your own. Okay, so we're going to be using the colors out of the FIFO bottles, so those are there. The vinegar water solution, make sure you label your squirt bottle, because I have tons of these around. Some of them are water, some of them are white lightning, and now some are vinegar and water. It's a 50-50 mix. I actually, I did a hair more vinegar than 50-50, but just a little bit. No particular reason why, I just thought, I think I wanted it to separate the paint a little bit more, so I figured why not add a little more vinegar. And then we're going to use coarse salt. So the trick to this is you can't really use fine, like regular table salt, because it's not going to create the, it's almost like a pockmarked kind of look, where the salt starts to eat through the paint. So coarse salt is best to give you that more distressed look. So first things first, we got to put our first color on, actually our second color. No special brushes to do this. I'm using a Dixie Belle chip brush. This table is really rough, it's very grainy. I'm not going for a super smooth, no brush stroke look. So I might need another plate actually. Let me grab another plate. And so the key to this is the paint and the vinegar and water, obviously, is going to be wet. It needs to be wet for the salt to stick onto it. So you have to work a little quickly. I mean, you can always put more on, but we're just gonna lay our main color in the middle here. This is Farmhouse green. It's kind of like a, it's like a celery color. And again, not trying to be real purposeful, because we want some of these colors to show through. So even if I don't have full coverage, I don't really care. That's fine with this look that we're going for. So let us know if you're on and where you're watching from, and if you're going to, right now I know you're not watching the replay, but if you're watching the replay later, give us a hashtag replay.
Dar Plants says hello from Wisconsin.
Hey,
and
thanks.
R.L. Warren says hello from Grapevine Decor Antiques and More.
Yeah. Hey guys.
What's the and more?
Anything you want it to be, right? More of the good stuff. I know there's probably some barbecues and stuff going on. It's always kind of a weird day, right, to say Happy Memorial Day, knowing why we're all off and having barbecues, but we all remember why. We wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for all the folks that have given everything to let us do this. So we thank them for that. Okay. So there's a little bit of...
Lori Falumley from Jacksonville.
Jacksonville?
North Carolina.
Okay, I was going to say Florida, or...
Yeah.
We're from Florida, so that's where my mind went immediately. Okay. So I think I'm going to do probably another coat of this, and this is going to dry pretty quickly, because it is 90 degrees and pretty dry here. So coffee bean is the color that we're going to put along the edges. So we're going to put that. And coffee bean is a rich, rich brown. I mean, it almost looks black unless you're holding it up to something black or another shade of brown, but it's like an espresso dark chocolate, just yummy. Looks really, really good, used as a stain if you water it down, and really good on a tabletop.
Regina from Paducah, Kentucky.
Hey, Regina.
Mandy from Pennsylvania.
Mandy, are you the one?
Sandy from Ohio.
Is Mandy the one that's been waiting for this? I think it was Mandy. Let me know. All right. It's not quite dry yet, but I'm going to go over a little bit more just to get some more coverage here. So you can see you can't really do a huge section at a time because Dixie Belle paint dries so quick. And we're gonna reactivate it a bit with our vinegar and water anyway, but I do kind of want to get a little bit more coverage in the middle there. Okay, so that's our farmhouse green in the middle. Now I'm gonna take the coffee bean and just pull it down. This doesn't have to be pretty initially, right? Or ever, probably, because we're going for this kind of rough look. And guys, remember, this is the second time I'm doing this. Second time. So I'm a nurse, or I was a nurse until about a year ago. And one of the things we learned in nursing school, and when we first graduated, was the see one, do one, teach one, right? So you saw something once. What'd I say? Yeah, you saw something once, then you did it, and then you taught it. So that's kind of what we're doing.
Sounds like healthcare.
Yeah. And this is really messy. So if you're going to be doing this, there's going to be salt everywhere. The place is going to stink like vinegar. So just kind of be prepared for that. I had salt all over the floor yesterday. And I'm just pulling this down.
It was Mandy, by the way.
Yay! All right, Mandy, I want you. Now you're seeing one, right? So you're gonna go do one next. All right. So the next step is taking your vinegar and spraying the whole thing. This is kind of misty right now. It's not a stream. The closer you get, the quicker it's going to take the paint off or separate the paint, and we're going to do that in a minute. But right now, we're going to take a little bit of salt and we're going to throw it at the top. So wherever you want the most of your distressing is where you want to put your salt. And you don't need a ton, but you want it kind of heavy up there. And I'm pretty close.
I'm gonna have to invent a salt gun.
Like a t-shirt launcher?
Yeah.
All right, then we're gonna go down here.
So just shoot the salt exactly where you want.
And it's going everywhere. So this is really messy, guys. But it's fun to get messy, right? Okay, and then in the middle, where we want it to be distressed, but maybe not as much, we're gonna stand a little further back. And we're gonna make it just a little bit lighter. So you can already kind of see these drippies coming down. If you like that, that's great. If you don't, just blot them off. So come on here. Of course, you have to get them while they're wet, or they're not going to come off. And I don't know if you can see, but where the salt is and where I'm peeling off the drips, you get this kind of, it's kind of like a pockmarked look. Now, you're also now seeing a little bit of the pattern from the paper towel. So if you had a flat shop towel, you wouldn't see that. So yesterday I was like, all right, it's not really doing what I wanted it to do, but you have to come back with your vinegar spray. So, did you see that? If you get really close, it is going to take the paint almost right off. So kind of depending what look you want, and you just have to practice, is how close you want to get. And I don't like all these drips, so now I'm just kind of going quickly through and blotting them off. And this is one of those things that gets better as you go. So don't give up if you're in the middle and you're like, oh, this is not going the way I thought it was going to go. Because it's almost like don't stop, just keep going. And probably should have not used the brown, but doesn't matter. We're going to do some dry brushing over this too. And if you guys follow me, you know we love to dry brush. So I'm going to come back here just a little bit more. And I'm not getting right on top of it. I'm kind of standing back, but I'm getting these drips as they're coming down instead of waiting. So let's get some of this salt. Now you're going to want to, the salt comes off, right, eventually. You don't leave the salt on there, but we got to let it dry so it can flake off. And let's fix this up down here, because not liking that. All that brown. So this is a pretty dry brush that I'm using right now, just to kind of pull some of this down. Let's go this way too. You can kind of hear the salt flying off. So I kind of like that. Go it across. Just kind of soften up this edge here. If you are a perfectionist, this is gonna make you mad and crazy. I'm doing another mist over here. I actually used an entire bottle on that barn door, probably way more than I needed to use. But again, until you know how much the paint's gonna come off, how drippy it's gonna get, you just gotta play. So I kind of want a little more in the middle here. Let's do a little more salt in the middle.
Cheryl says, throw some over your shoulder, Pam.
I know, I'm dropping everything and...
Actually, you'd probably throw it in your eyes.
Well, I went outside to spray the bottle just to make sure it wasn't a stream, and the wind blew the vinegar water back in my eye, so that felt amazing. I'm really just trying to soften up some of this edge here because I don't like the way the brush strokes look. And now I'm standing back looking, which now I'm kind of liking it. What do you think? I think it needs...
More in the middle needs to come off. Some of the too much green in the middle.
Yeah, well that's why I did that. So
yeah.
We'll have some of the white come through.
Yeah. There you go.
And we'll do some transition here because we don't want, I don't think I want that dark line right in the middle of the table. So it stinks horribly in here right now.
Yes.
What are we thinking? Like.
It's getting there.
So this has to dry a little bit. And then I think I'll do a little dry brushing too. Maybe down here. I'm not crazy about this part. Like I kind of like this, but I'm not too crazy about like where all this is real harsh. Maybe that's a little better. Needs something. I'm not sure what. Is it the middle?
Yeah, the middle just looks too...
Clean?
Yeah, and there's nothing there.
There's nothing there?
Well, I mean, it's just green.
Too much there.
Yeah. Too much green.
Well, let's take some off. So again, if you hold the bottle right up against it, you'll blast almost some of that top coat off. I don't like the drips though, we'll have to fix that. Better?
Better? I like that section on the top left there.
Right here?
Yeah, which is hard to see in this picture.
Oh, that's
here.
terrible in the picture.
It could just be the screen too.
Oh, you mean the white?
Yes, I like that coming through.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be more of that coming through.
Okay. Let's make this a little more...
Uh-oh.
We're going to torque it up.
Trying something new.
So instead of having just a fine mist... Oh, I think I'm turning it the wrong way. Let's do like a stream. Yeah. You see?
Yep, better.
See? Did it hurt anybody? Did anybody get hurt? No one got hurt in the making of this video, I promise.
Video's not over.
That's true. That is so much better. But I'm not crazy about the drippy. Like, I'd rather have it.
It was kind of like holding the table at an angle like this. I think you're always gonna get
Drippy.
the drippy.
All right, but that's more of the look we're going
That's
for.
better, yes. I
In
like
there.
that a lot. Again, hard to tell.
Yeah.
With this screen is kind of shiny, so it may actually look better on the video. I'm not sure.
And I think what I may even do is, I wish this would dry so I could do it for you guys.
Malia Klein says, "Hey girl."
So Malia, how are we doing? Help us out. All right, so Malia is the one whose video I shared to say, guys, we are so doing this. So we did the barn door yesterday. So Malia's like the girl on this. So we're getting a lot of drippies in the middle. We're trying to kind of blot them off. I don't know. I just felt like the drippies were too much. So I think we may go back over and dry brush and just clean some of that up. We just didn't think we could do it flat, right, with the table flat, because then all your solution would kind of pool on there. So Malia, if you have any words of wisdom, let us know. Let us know. And guys, go over and follow her page. Put your link in our comments, Malia, to your page, so they can go over and check you out. But I think so, like this whole side, I'm happy with. But I think we need to, so we'll go back, we'll fix up some of these drips. I wish it was dry. I would just put some more paint over it, and we could air gun it maybe. Air gun? Let me see.
I guess we're gonna air gun.
Heat gun. Heat gun. Because, I mean, one of the things we always want to show you all is if you do something that you don't like, or it just didn't look like the way you thought it was going to look, most of these things are easy to fix. You just kind of have to know how, right? So we're liking this whole section here, but this section, it's too green, it's too drippy. So before we add anything else, I'm going to just dry it a little bit.
Malia says, looks great. Yes, heat gun it.
Heat gun it. Heat it up.
Alan Owings says, hi Pam.
Hey Alan. How are you? Thanks for joining us, guys. You know, there's, of course, certain things we can't say on our videos anymore, but you know what you're supposed to do. We'd love for you to do it. All right. I just want to work on this one section because this stuff is pretty good. It's very wet.
Ellen says, looking awesome.
2/3 of it is...
Let's get a close-up of what it looks like.
All right. Let's not burn myself with that. You see my leaning up against the heat gun the other day. I'm sure we all have one of those. All right, so let's go back and get some wet paint on here. This is the Farmhouse green again. So my other concern is if I put too much on, am I going to be able to break through it to get to the white?
Malia says you can always flip whole piece upside down if too much green at the bottom, you know.
Oh, to kind of work from the other side and make it look like this? Yeah. Because it's kind of hard to make the drips
go up.
Go uphill.
Not as hard as you think.
Don't even.
Watch.
Stop. Hold on to your hats, guys. We're going for a ride. All right. Oh, now I have this. Got to go back to our. But I think that's right. We probably should maybe work from the other side. But let's throw some of that on. And I'm not doing this super heavy. We're just kind of, we're sprinkling. I actually don't mind some of that.
No, it's not bad.
So we have a lot of salt on here, but this is still pretty wet. So we're not going to do much with that right now.
I mean, do you think it would have been better to like take some of the coffee bean and disperse some of the coffee bean through the center?
We could like dry brush. So like on the barn door, it was easier on the barn door because there was the different panels, right? So we kind of put some of the brown in there. But I almost wonder if we should at least come down more with that, or again, I think that's a great idea. We need to turn it around. See how sharp this is, like straight edged?
Yeah.
Where this is very random. So I feel like we have so much paint on now that it's going to be hard to get through. You know what I mean? Burn. Maybe we're just not being patient enough. let the salt kind of do its thing. Because it's kind of, I mean, it's kind of starting. I just think we're not being patient enough down there. So, well, so second attempt. There was some good, there was some bad. I'm really happy with the top. I think the top looks awesome.
After it's dry, Malia says, after it's dry, I use black or brown wax and use my finger to swipe it up from bottom and down from the top, and on the sides I dry brush dark wax.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna need to do something to kind of, I don't know, soften it, dirty it, something over here, because it's kind of harsh right now. All right. What do you think? Call it a wrap?
I think so.
Yeah, so we'll let it dry.
Some good, some bad. Maybe we'll come back with.
Now, if Mandy's still on, you're up, girl. We want to see your salt, water, vinegar project.
It's her turn.
Right, go do one, and then we're gonna see you teach one. All right, guys. Amelia, thank you for joining and for jumping in and helping us with some of our technique. We'll do the other half, and then this is probably going to be like the barn door, where the bottom half of the barn door looks better than the top half, while the right half of our table will probably look better than the left half. Well, if everyone is doing anything for Memorial Day, I hope you enjoy wherever you are. And again, thanks to all those who sacrificed everything so we could be here doing these lives and just living every day in a free world. So, all right, a free country, not a free world, I guess.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. All right, guys, thank you so much.
Thanks.